So thank you for being here. Actually it's not my first HackerU. I think it's my number 7 or 8, something like that, but only the second one as a speaker. And I'm here to share with you some the result of my research on labs. So I'm Antoine, born and raised in Dijon, so in France, well known for the mustard. A pen tester working for PwC Luxembourg for the last 10 years. And actually I've already, as I mentioned, presented a talk 8 years ago on labs. So the agenda for today, so we will go through a quick introduction, basically, the background and objectives, a small section about the scope and infrastructure of our research, and then we'll go through the core of this research. So let's start with some vocabulary. So first we have Microsoft Labs and Windows Labs. So the first labs means local administrator password solution, and it's basically a solution from Microsoft to manage local administrator password on system to ensure they are all unique and random. And so as I mentioned, we have two versions. So Microsoft Labs, that we will call in this talk Labs V1 or Legacy, just for easy reason. It was released 10 years ago. It was supporting only Active Directory, and it's under deprecation basically, and the passwords were stored only in Active Directory in clear text attributes. And now we have Windows Labs, as we call the current version, or Labs V2. It was released 2 years ago. It supports both Active Directory or Entra ID environment, and it's so natively support, and passwords are also encrypted. So now quick introduction about how Labs is working. From a high-level perspective, Labs V1 and V2 run with the same operation when you need to refresh the password. So first, you will generate a new local admin password on the system, then you will you will send it on the directory, and you will send it on the local device. And for Entra ID, Entra join machine, there is also an update of the registry that we'll cover later. And basically, on Active Directory setup, resetting labs, it's actually setting the expiration time to now on the domain controller, and then wait for a new cycle. So just for completeness, so Labs V1, as I mentioned, clients are only domain join machine. It's a client-side group policy extension. So it's refreshed with group policy refresh cycle. So by default, more or less 19 minutes. It's only one DLL on the system, and passwords are stored on the computer object in the Active Directory and protected only by a ACL, so meaning that only authorized user can read the password. Not everyone can read the expiration time. And now we have Windows Labs. So as I mentioned, the managed device can be either a domain join or Entra join. It's not a client-side extension, but it still responds to group policy, and you can also use a commandlet as admin to force a refresh cycle. There is an hard-coded polling cycles to once per hour, 3 DLLs that are doing the magic, let's say, and there is also a password tampering protection that we'll cover. Again, just for completeness, on Active Directory, you have the attributes that are on the machine, basically. What will interest us is the password expiration time and the encrypted password. And on Entra, it's stored on the cloud, basically. And it's mentioned in the documentation that it's further encrypted before being persisted. And on Entra, you need to be like global admin or high privilege admin to retrieve the password. So now let's move on to the background and objective. So for the background, so Labs and V1 have been widely analyzed. You can see a lot of tools and articles online, but basically they focus more on, say, on the server side. So try to find to get the password on the directory, but the client side is not really explored, but it's not new. So 8 years ago we did a talk with my colleague Maxime Clements, that is in the room with us. And basically, to summarize this research, it was like LabsView1 was based on an open source project. So basically, you just retrieve the tool. You can modify the code, compile it, push it on a new client, and you have your backdoor because it's backward compatible. But 8 years later, there is a lot of changes. So it's no longer based on open source code. So it's more complex to analyze. It supports Entra ID plus Active Directory. Passwords are stored with encryption, and there is a password tampering protection mechanism. So if we do like just a naive approach, like we are admin on the system, we try to change the password, and we got an error saying that we can't modify the password. And if we look on the logs for Labs, it will say the same, that that Labs blocked the change of the password. In this context, we would like to explore to achieve three objectives, basically. So try to capture the password when it changes or when it's reset. Try to see if we can desynchronize the password that is stored on the machine and on the server, and check if we can change the password on demand. So to do this, we did some, let's say, basic infrastructure. So for this research, we will focus only on Labs V2 because V1 will be soon deprecated. We will enable encryption. We will not cover legacy compatibility, and actually, we will not cover the cryptography details. If you want to have a look, you can check XPN blog post. That is very very good for this. And we popped two minimal infrastructure, one with simple client and a domain controller for on-prem infrastructure, and one that is Entra join. In both cases, we are using Windows 11 that is up to date. Labs is configured to manage the local administrators, the built-in one. And we will disable LSA protection because now Labs is loaded in LSA's process, basically. So just to understand and to ease the research, we will disable the LSA protection, and of course we will assume that we have a temporary local admin access on the machine. So now time to move on and dive into the guts of Windows Labs. So as I mentioned in the introduction, there is 3 main DLLs, but we will focus only on the first one actually. And luckily for us, Microsoft is nice and give us the PDB, so we can analyze the DLL with the PDB, and we have the internal function names, and so it will be easier. So I started like kind of reverse engineer the main DLL, but I'm not an expert in this matter. But using the PDB, it was quite easy to do some kind of call tree. So here you have like a simplified one, and you can see, let's say, 3 major parts. So on this side, we have functions that are Active Directory only, because we can see some references to DLLs that are doing some LDAP stuff. On the other side, we have functions that are Entra ID only, using WinHTTP DLL. And in the middle, that is functions that are shared by both sides, and it's basically to create a new random password and to set it on the local system. To play with Labs, we will use Frida. So if you don't know it, I encourage you to have a look. And if you know it, you know that it's a great tool. So first, we will try to see if we can capture the password. So one of the easiest way will be to look at this DLL. So SAM server DLL. So it's and Labs is calling this function SAMISetPassword for end user 2. It's a non-documented function that is exported, but after looking at the parameters, we quickly discovered that 2 arguments are actually pointer to Unicode string, and you can just follow the pointer and retrieve the clear text password. So let's have a quick demo of this one. So we have a domain controller, Windows 11 client. On the Windows 11, we have 3 windows. The top one will be running with admin privileges that we will use to mess with LSAS. On the middle, it's just the code if you want to have a look. And on the below, we will just run as a low privileged user a GP update to force a reset. And of course, because it's a demo, we will force the reset on the server side, but it works exactly the same if the password expire, let's say, naturally. So first, we look at the password. So the demo were recorded during the summer, so the password is not yet encrypted, is not yet expired, sorry. We launch our hook. We force a reset. We will launch a GP update just to force. And here we have a blue line, and actually we have captured the password here. And you can see that it's matched the one on the Active Directory side, and we will just check by running a command to see if it's actually working. Spoiler, it will work. So basically we managed to capture the password. And now, basically same setup but on Entra ID. Again, we will force a reset of the password to avoid waiting for the expiration time. And we will force a refresh of the Intune policy. Here we have the password, and we can look that it's the same. And Frida is nice because we can mess with functions that are exported, but also with functions that are internal one. So you just need to find the function offset. That's quite easy. And then again, look at the code and try to understand the parameters. And same. So if we look at this function, account manager reset local admin account password, we can find that one parameter is basically a pointer to the password. And this function exists also on Entra ID setup, so again, can capture the password. So basically we have achieved our first objective. We managed to capture the password. So now we'll see if we can desync the password between the client and the directory. So for this we have, let's say, 2 options. So either we modify the local password, so the password on the directory will be random, and we maintain control on the local system, or we do the opposite. We modify the password on the directory and we let a random one on the system. But if you do it alone, it's a bit useless because you don't know the password that is set. But both can be useful for kind of denial of service scenario. If people are using labs to manage the device, they might not be able to do it, and it can be fun just also to troll admin. So here it's an illustration of the first scenario. So we have also captured the random password that is sent to the directory, so G3 and so on. But the actual password that we have set by hooking this function is this string, so random password. And we can do the opposite, so we can send a password that will stored in Intune or in a Active Directory, and password will be encrypted and so on. So from an admin perspective, they will see that the password is hello Intune or random $123. So basically we have achieved our second objective, and now we'll try to move on the third one. So can we trigger a password change on demand? So if we look at the diagram that I showed earlier, basically at the beginning we'll check if the password is expired. So one easy option is to say, of course, it's expired. So we will overwrite this check, and the local system will believe that the password is expired and change it. So to do it, we have 2 very similar functions for Active Directory and Entra ID setup that are quite self-explaining. So check AD password update factor and check Azure password update factor. And basically, we will just overwrite the exit function to say, okay, yes, it's expired, of course. Now, short demo, so same setup. So I am on the terminal above. I am admin, and I will launch my Frida code. And now, basically, each and every time the GP update will be called, the password will be changed and synchronized with the Active Directory. So now I will just run GP update a couple of times, and you will see that the password is changing. And from the system perspective, it believes that the password is expired. And on our ID setup, it works just as well, but it's a bit more complex to force a refresh on the client side, but we can just wait for 1 hour to have the refresh cycle that is processed. In introduction, I mentioned also something about the Entra ID. So there is this block, update registry with new expiration time. And I didn't really explain how the password expired check is working. But if you look at Microsoft documentation, you will see basically the same diagram but with 2 branches. Of course, you can't see what is here, but if we zoom a bit on the top of the diagram, you can see that on Active Directory setup, it will ask the expiration time to the domain controller. But on Microsoft Entra ID setup, it will query the registry for expiration time. And to do this, it's basically there is 2, let's say, main key in the registry. One call so that are again self-explanatory: Azure password expiry time, and the other is last password update time. So these both are stored in a Windows file time format. So if you decode it to a human readable format, you can see that the password was last changed on the 26th of June and will expire on the 26th of July. So maybe you have the same question. If we change the expiration time, it can't be that simple. Spoiler, it is. So here I will just run the command to check if the password is expired. It will say that no, it's not expired. And we will look at the event viewer. And you can see that, the password does not need to be updated at this time. So, normal setup. So now so as admin, we are going in the registry and we will look for our value. So I will just copy paste the last password check and we'll put it in the expiration time. And run again the command to force an update, but again we can wait for 1 hour. And here you can see that we have captured a password, and if we look at the log, you can see that the password was correctly changed for the administrator, and the reason is it expired. Yes, here. So from computer point of view, the password was expired, so we need to change it. If you are wondering what if we do the opposite, like if we put a password in the future, basically it will kind of break lapse, because on the at some point on the Intune the password will expire and so need to be updated. But on the local system we'll say no, it doesn't need to be updated. The password doesn't need to, because it's set to a time in the future. So basically we have achieved our third objective. And that wraps up the list of objectives that we have set. You can say, Frida is great, but in Pentest you don't have machines with Frida, and that's true. But you can use other techniques to do hooking. I found it fun to use a Microsoft hooking library to hook a Microsoft product. So you can use a detour, for instance. So basically you define a function that with the same signature of the target. So for instance, one that will, and you do your stuff. So for instance, capture a password, and then you will call the original function. And you just need to load a DLL in LSASS, basically. So we will do a quick demo. So we will first do it with SAMISET password for end user, so the undocumented function that was exported. And then we will do it with an internal function called reset local admin account password. So again, same setup, but this time I will inject a DLL in LSASS instead of using Frida. And again, same, I will force an expiration and a check to, and here we have a file that has been written to the disk. and it contains the password. And we do the same now with an internal function just to prove that it's working even with internal functions. So again, we force an expiration. We have force a GP update, and again, we have a TX file that have been created, and we will look, and it will contain the password. Okay, so now it's time to conclude. So first, if you ask, can we hook other functions for similar results? Short answer is yes. For instance, in this screenshot, I hooked 6 different functions on Active Directory setup, and I managed to capture 6 times the same password. So as I mentioned in the introduction, there is indeed a password tampering protection that will protect against accidental or careless tampering. So it was international and probably with care, so it was possible. So just to summarize, so we managed to achieve our 3 objectives. But of course, let's say messing with LSASS remains the main challenge, because in real situation you will have EDR, you will have RunAs PPL or any other technical controls. But my objective with this talk was to bring to the attention attack surface that is not really explored. So I hope it will bring some idea and some POCs to play with this attack surface. Let's say some advices. So for fellow red teamer in the room, so it was just POC. You can think about a lot of other scenario to retrieve the password or to do other stuff. You can hook other function, as I mentioned. The offset are changing with each release of LSASS, but it's quite easy to. So the offset are changing, but not the internal logic, so you can do the same. For blue teamers, so of course you can check unexpected password or a reset of labs, because depending on how often you are using labs in your organization, maybe the password will just expire naturally because they are not reset by admin. So they should align with configured rotation period, more or less with vacation maybe, but it could be an idea to implement a monitoring scenario on this. Of course, obviously, watch and limit privilege escalation, because we assume that we were in a post-compromise scenario, so with local admin system privileges. So of course, if you stop the root cause, you will it will prevent you to do this attack, and of course, ensure your technical control are in place. So thank you. So here actually it's a real QR code that you can scan. That will that is a link to this GitHub repository. On this repository, you will see all the POCs that I showed today, even a bit more, and even the scripts that you can run to retrieve the new offset when there is a new version of labs that is coming. And that's all for me.